Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Carlos is with me.
What's going on?
And today we're going to be reviewing the newest formulation of Zoologist Panda, so stay tuned. This fragrance came out in 2017. It has been reformulated. The original formulation came out back in 2014, and it was a part of the initial 3 fragrances from the line. So it was, if I remember correctly, Beaver, Panda, and Rhinoceros.
Correct.
2 of the 3 were composed by Paul Kyler, and unfortunately they have both been reformulated. And the new perfumer for this one is Christian Carbonell.
I think I know him.
I think I know him too. So for those of you wondering why we're making that joke, he is a perfumer for brands such as Kajal, Xerjoff, Sospiro. So he is a very talented perfumer. He has a factory out of Spain, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he is super talented. I know I just said that. So with this one, it does deviate from the original composition. So if you do see some reviews floating around on YouTube, just make sure that they were, if you're interested in learning about this one, make sure they were published after 2017. Do you remember the original composition?
I actually don't, but I was one of the first to do a house overview of Zoologist perfumes when they first premiered. I remember Panda being the brighter of the trio. But if you ask me to tell you exactly the nuances, I couldn't now.
For sure. So I thought at the time that the most creative one was Beaver, because it was a full-blown animalic, and I think that that's what Victor Wong was initially going for, and I really enjoyed that one because of how artistic and creative it is. And then I thought that, and I guess to this day I still think that this was the most wearable one of the
original 3. There have been subsequent releases that are wearable.
For sure.
Or more approachable, I should say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I won't go into naming them, but I know this is a healthy deviation from its predecessor, although I like the first formulation of Panda. There's a lot of bamboo in it, and this one surprisingly has no bamboo, but the juice is a lot greener.
It can almost be a new fragrance. Like it is. It's not connected to the old one, the original one.
Correct. And I think when you're comparing this one to Beaver, Beaver smells similar, but you can tell that the animalic nuances were toned down. This smells like a completely different formula.
You're meaning of the original Beaver to the reformulated Beaver?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So let's start things off with the presentation.
Sounds good.
And here's the box. Really cool. They used to have the drawer-style boxes that you just pulled open like that. Now it has a magnetic flap. And there's a little insert that gives you the name of the fragrance, the brief on the fragrance, the description, and the note breakdown, as well as the perfumer. And then here you have the silhouette in which the bottle rests. Now, as far as the bottle is concerned, thank you, really nice. It is a stock bottle, but there is cool attention to detail. You have the insignia on the cap, and Victor was actually kind enough to autograph my bottle for me because I met him a few days ago. So
yes,
Victor,
we both did. That was fun.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet up with us individually, but thank you for signing it. Really appreciate that, my friend. And in full disclosure, this was gifted to me by Victor Wong. So thank you so much, but you guys know I'm going to keep it real nonetheless. So what do we have for the notes in this one?
The notes, it's a long brief, so I'll leave that out. Panda Extrait de Parfum is the concentration.
Wow, okay.
Top notes are apple, magnolia, mandarin, lily, osmanthus, ozone, and tea. Heart notes are amber, earthy notes, jasmine, orris, and patchouli, and the base notes are composed of civet, musk, sandalwood, and vanilla. And I gotta tell you, a lot of those top notes I really like. As well as the hard notes.
A lot of them speak to me as well. I like the inclusion of the vanilla. You know, I'm a gourmand lover myself. Personally, I don't get a whole lot of vanilla from this scent.
No.
But I do get a lot of soil. Right?
It has that aroma that's in bat, but not quite as pronounced as it is in bat. This definitely has a soily texture, but there's a brightness over it from the apple, from the osmanthus, which is a great tea-like, apricot-like note. And I think it's a nice balance of the earthy and the brighter notes. The earthy notes don't ever smother the brighter notes.
I agree with you. Especially in bat, you get that cavernous aura that is created by the inclusion of soil tincture. And it's almost like you got a face full of dirt. And I do enjoy bat for its creativity. I think this one is obviously the more wearable of the two, but of course it all boils down to what your personal preference is and what you want to smell like, right? But with this one, you do have, like you said, the brightness of the apple note that really grounds the fragrance and increases its likability. When it starts to dry down, you do get the tea vibe, you do get the osmanthus perhaps a little bit. I know there are some other green nuances in here, but I don't think they fully take away from some of the more volatile notes of the scent. All in all, I think it's a composition that's very well put together. It's unique, but I must say, on account of that soil note, it still leans a little bit in daring territory.
But not to the level of where bat is. This is definitely much more approachable. I think on paper also, it's more pronounced, that soil tincture or note or accord.
Yeah.
Let's try it on skin, why don't we?
Yeah, you know what? We might as well. And so, not that we're trying it on skin for the first time, I obviously have gone through a travel atomizer, an official one from the brand that comes in a collection of scents called the Natural Selection Collection, which I think that's kind of funny, Darwinism.
That would be a blooper if this was my video out of my mouth. The what collection?
Natural Selection.
The Natural Selection Collection. Oh, I did it!
And so, kudos to how natural and vibrant all of these ingredients smell. You know, there's nothing here that smells commercial or synthetic, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it just exudes this natural aura, almost reminding you of the habitat in which a panda may reside.
As I suspected, I don't think the soil note is pronounced as much on skin as it is on the test strip.
Right, okay.
Yeah, smell it here. I love the tea note. I love the apricot note. Osmanthus.
Right. I know that's what you meant.
Very wearable.
I would agree. And so when you compare it to other scents in the collection, this is not nearly as challenging, but if you were to draw the line right in the middle, this would be just slightly in the challenging collection.
Ever so slightly, I would have to say. I think more people will like this than not. As challenging as you and I think that is, there are some diehard fans of that fragrance out there. I've seen it on the fragrance boards on Facebook and stuff, and some people genuinely love it. It was created by Ellen Covey, and they even won an Arts and Olfaction Award.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, for sure. And so when you try some of the newer releases, and by newer I mean the newest release, which is Tyrannosaurus Rex, you will see that one is very dark and challenging. It has a bitter patchouli. It's earthy. And you like it. Yes. And I do like it too, actually. And I said this to Victor Wong when I met him at Parfumery in Soho. I said, this is what Gucci Guilty Absolute could have been. And I feel like they're in the same family, but I like one, but I don't like the other. So it's interesting how that works, that they do have a similar olfactory profile, but they're different.
Yeah.
So that's it, all in all. These were our thoughts on Panda. It's not my favorite from the collection, although I really do enjoy it. Some of my favorites would probably include Moth. I love the honey that's utilized in Moth. I love Elephant. Dragonfly has that starchy note in it.
Carlos for Camel. Carlos Team Camel.
And, okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a top 10 favorite zoologist scents.
Cool.
And I'm going to try to rank them in order.
May I offer my travel spray for your subscribers?
That's really nice of you, sure.
He also gifted me a bottle, so I have a travel spray that I'd love to get to your subscribers.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so, awesome. Let's do it.
Tell them what it means.
All right, so thanks to the courtesy of Carlos, the generosity of Carlos, a winner will receive, I don't remember, is it 10 mLs, 12 mLs?
I believe it's 10.
But it's an official travel atomizer from the company.
With label and everything.
All you need to do to enter is just leave a comment down below and say, what is your favorite zoologist scent, or what do you think is the zoologist scent that would appeal to you the most, just according to the write-up or the brief, the animal, or the note breakdown. That's it. I'm going to be announcing the winner in 1 week's time, and so make sure to check back to this video in a week's time to see if you've won. I'm going to pin the winner's comment to the top. And Carlos, thank you so much.
My pleasure,
for doing this video with me. Much appreciated.
Always.
cool. If you found something of value from this video, please do consider subscribing if you're new to this channel. And if you are a viewer of this channel, make sure to enable notifications by clicking on the little bell icon next to the subscribe button. This way, whenever we do upload new videos, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any future uploads. Thanks again. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care.
Bye.